over the last 3 years, I built 2 successful businesses from zero to multiple 6 figures in my 20s, made it to the top 0.01% of my age group, got featured on Forbes, Kajabi, and multiple other business media outlets, and grew my personal brand to over 300,000 followers online. And in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give you the 7 lessons that got me there. And look, this won't be like every single entrepreneur giving you vague advice about following your passion or just post content, because quite frankly, if you're watching this, you want to get ahead of everyone else as fast as possible. And honestly, most growth advice in the space right now is inapplicable and fluffy, especially when you're building an online business. And I know this because I used to spend all of my time watching videos looking for an answer and never really getting anywhere. This video will help you skip through all of the mistakes and get right to the answers that you're looking for. Now, firstly, you need to learn this blueprint: content, distribution, and sales. We have now shifted into an era where products aren't hard, distribution is. Welcome to the attention economy. Everyone can create a new product, business, or service using tools like AI for free. But now, people like you and me and everyone else are fighting for eyeballs, because ultimately, eyeballs sell at a mass scale. Just creating content is no longer enough. Posting weekly on social media is also no longer enough. Having a great product is not good enough either, because if no one is seeing you, you're already behind. The smartest and most successful entrepreneurs are winning by mastering content, distribution, and building an audience of people that love them. And if you want to do the same, the easiest way to start is by distributing your knowledge. This is where the new fortunes are being made. It's simple, it's easy, and it's technically free. Your first and only task right now as a business owner, entrepreneur, or even content creator looking to monetize should be to understand how to create content that generates mass attention and leads to distribution and ultimately more sales. Now, here's where lesson number 2 comes in: creating viral educational content. Going viral is so cliche because everybody can go viral today, but often it's for the wrong reason. On LinkedIn, I see it all of the time. Crying CEOs, hot pics on holiday, cute selfies, 10 TED Talks that will change your life. Yeah, they all go viral, but they don't directly attribute towards building leverage for your business. They simply add to your social status in form of followers or more engagement, and the clout is great until you're left with 1 million followers and can only sell 6 t-shirts because there's no real incentive for your audience to buy anything from you. Now, when you go viral with educational content, you hit the jackpot. Let me explain. Educational content solves a problem for someone for free. You're proving your competence and expertise to potential customers while building an audience who is highly interested in your unique perspective about anything you're talking about, giving you authority, social proof, followers, and social status without having to flex. Knowledge is power, and giving it to someone for free is leverage. Don't let anyone tell you it isn't. Building goodwill over time is what builds a true cult following. I've gone viral over 200 times on LinkedIn, about cracked it on here on YouTube, and what works is simple. Focus on the first 30 seconds of your video or the first 3 lines of your text post. Here's a copy-paste template that you can try right now. After doing hard thing in time frame, here's how to do desired outcome. If you're going through a hard thing, read this. Chef's kiss. This is the ultimate template anyone should be using right now to grow and go viral with educational content. Look, if you create educational content often, then you're also building your personal brand, which is lesson number 3. Personal branding is a non-negotiable. It's the unspoken, unfair advantage. And it's not the new big thing, because every single person who you watch online to learn from, be entertained by, or inspired by have been doing this all behind the scenes. My personal brand has opened doors for me I didn't even know existed. Got seats at tables most people have to pay to get into. Went from unemployed to being asked to work with the same companies that rejected me 2 years ago, just because I spent the last 2 years building my personal brand. But if you want to outperform everyone else rushing to build theirs, LinkedIn is the number 1 platform that will help you get ahead. I'm all in on this platform. It's built my entire career from the ground up. And what I saw then when I started back in 2022 is the same thing I see now. A massive disproportion between demand and supply. It has 1 billion users, but only 1% or even less right now are posting daily on the platform. And from that 1%, only a small fraction create good content. The opportunity is on tap for those who are willing to take the time and educate their audience to the highest level possible. When I started building my personal brand, I had 2 rules. One was create outstanding content every single week. I used a tool called Clio to hack my way around it, had access to the best and most viral content through it, and all I needed was to replicate it and add my own spin to the viral content. 2 is raising the bar every single post. So I would use the tool Clio to validate the idea in my head about the post I wanted to make. It will help me find the validated ideas, so this means finding content that did well in the past multiple times so I could use it in the future, and then I would determine the success of the post based on its engagement and would raise the bar after. To win on LinkedIn, you need to act like a mad scientist with content and be obsessed with it because it's the only way you're going to get it right and quick. It's the same blueprint we are all using to get ahead. Look at the pattern, follow the clues, success always leaves them. Now, if you're like, okay, well, Lara, but how do I make money with my personal brand? I don't know how to sell, I don't know what my offer is, and I don't have a team. If you have an engaged audience, everything else is easy. The only thing you need to do right now is focus on mastering one skill and one topic. While everyone is telling you to become the niche, you need to win your niche first instead, because no one cares about you until you prove that you can do something for them. This is simple psychology and human bias at play. I spent my first 10 months in business grinding, creating content on LinkedIn and building my freelance business, which then became an agency. Created content about building a business, created content about my specific business and how and why my specific service is incredibly beneficial to my ideal client. This is your beginner's content playbook, by the way. This creates momentum for you because just like going to the gym on January 1st, you get used to it. It's low friction and it's free. Then, as I progressed and got clients, I began to write for them at scale, which added the volume I needed for both writing, content, and business. I wasn't an expert at writing or my niche, but I became an expert by brute force, just by repetition every single week. One thing, and the only thing that stuck with me from my door-to-door sales days was this quote: "Hard work beats talent every single time." And this can apply for you outside the writing and sales or even coaching space. Look, if you're an agency owner and you're writing about hacks, tips, lessons, case studies every single day and every single week, on and on, you'll start gathering more knowledge and memorizing it, which then makes you better when executing for clients. And this also makes you top of mind for your current and past and future clients as well, and puts you in the perfect position to grow. And after that, you stack skills on top of that. Master writing, then master sales, then master storytelling, then master distribution, and so on. Become a full stack creator or entrepreneur. This makes you the only choice. Now, besides that, to get dream clients fast, you can use lesson number 5. Solve a problem for free and charge for the execution. This is a proven and tested way every single successful friend that I have in the space has used to gain their first clients or their dream clients. I know this because I've done it myself and I've had it done on me, and it's easy to do. We all have a list of clients we dream to work with or are willing to work with at the start. Now, they also have a problem that you know you can fix. Maybe you think they're leaving money on the table. Maybe you think that you can grow their audience. Maybe you think that their emails suck. Whatever you know you can do for someone that they're not doing, that is your pitch. Or in my opinion, you're in. The key here is that you do not try and sell them on this. You give it to them for free. But the delivery has to be precise and well executed. For this, you take a mega personalized approach. You find their problem for them, you then go ahead and solve it without them knowing, and then you deliver them the final product. It can be a Loom video, an actual resource you can use, or a PDF, but it needs to be tangible and immediately useful. Here, you're leading with value and you're being useful. This is the first impression you will leave them with, and they count. A video freelancer contacted me a year ago, and here's exactly what he said. Hey Queen, I made this video for you. Here's the file so you can post it, and here's the thumbnail. No ask, no price, just value add. Today, that same person is my main editor for this YouTube video you're watching right now. Remember this, being an asset is extremely underrated. Always find a way to be useful to people, not just another bill to pay. Now, this is slightly controversial and it goes against a lot of common advice, but lesson number 6 is that you need to work smart and hard. I personally think that the idea of working smart and not hard is stupid, especially when you're building a business from zero, or even when you're trying to gain some traction again. Everybody is so busy automating, using AI, delegating, and systematizing in order to work smart. But then they spend all of this time focusing on the wrong things, because no AI tool will substitute your inability to do something well. I see this all the time, and I've experienced it myself, but you lose more time building a fancy Notion document or an automated email sequence that will fail because you haven't successfully tested it manually, and you will lose money and time hiring new members for tasks that you haven't fully understood. So this motto of work smart, not hard, turned into easy peasy lemon squeezy to like difficult, lemon difficult for me. I tried to hire for different roles and failed because I didn't need to hire yet. I tried automating emails and content but failed because I didn't need to do it. But I did it because all of these millionaires online are telling me to delegate, optimize, and hire. But if you learn something from me, let it be this. A successful business doesn't have to be a big business with multiple employees, Slack, Zapier automations everywhere, AI chatbots, and all of these things. A successful business is one that masters one thing, one product, one service, and one offer that can then be multiplied onto various different mini assets. I.e., agency owners start with an agency service. They master results and are able to duplicate them. Then they can start one-to-many distribution in forms of consulting and corporate workshops and even events. And ultimately, then they can productize their service via a course, a book, a PDF, YouTube content, and so on. Right now, I only have like 2 full-time people on my team. Everyone else is either an agency or a consultant. And if I built an agency again, it would be around 5 people max to scale to maybe 50K to 100K. Lesson number 7 is probably the most useful one beyond nailing marketing, distribution, and even client acquisition. This is where you get the chance to create your own luck. And it starts by putting yourself in the right place at the right time. Networking. You see, I love LinkedIn not just because it had an extreme undersaturation of good content, but because it had access to the wealthiest network I could ever dream of. I was always 1 to 2 connections away from my dream CEOs, founders, millionaires, and mentors. And on top of all of that, you can also get access to networking events you couldn't find anywhere else. They're usually invite only or only marketed within the small networks that you'll find on LinkedIn. So by simply being on the platform, you're already ahead because you get first dibs at all of these opportunities. Now, showing up isn't enough, but if you show up having done everything I mentioned from lesson number 1 to lesson number 6, then you're off to a better start than most. You build some presence, potentially some social proof, and are already liked and trusted by some people, which gives you more leverage when starting a conversation or following up with someone you met at these events. You get to stand out amongst all the people in these events because you are an asset, not just another attendee. See, at the start of my business journey, I went to every networking opportunity I could get my hands on. It was my way of building my own momentum. I was showing up, meeting people, connecting with them, and then I went to LinkedIn and created content about the event and what I learned, pushing my personal brand even more because of the halo effect that came with being in proximity with many of the other attendees and all these speakers, and resulting in more attention coming my way. And like I mentioned, attention and audience are the ultimate forms of leverage. Learn to build it the right way, and there is not a single chance you will lose. My journey is living proof of this. And if you want to learn the full personal branding blueprint for you to get a head start, then watch this video on how to blow up your LinkedIn as fast as possible. See you on the next one.